We hear some of these things in church with no understanding. You know why? Because most pastors, they not reading the Bible. They don't expect you to read the Bible, right? So you hear certain words and you hear one little part of it. And it's like, well, what is that talking about? Did the devil really get cast down? Was he like an angel and he was in charge of the music in heaven? Because that's what I heard, right? We heard all this stuff, right? But like, what does that mean then? So you mean to tell me that an angel went against God and God couldn't kill him?
Right.
God created the angels. He created us. He don't have no power. How is he all powerful but not all powerful at the same time?
Right.
It don't make sense. You know why? Because in church you get snippets of the Bible to make sure you paying 10%. That's it. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel happy. No matter what kind of lifestyle you live, whatever you want to do, you can do it. It's all good because you're under grace. You can sin all you want. Just keep coming to church and put money in my pocket. You know, but when you think about the concept of God, right? How do we know anything about God without the Bible? Nobody. No Jesus, no Holy Spirit. Everything you just said, is no concept of it without the scriptures. Go to Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. We have to read the Bible to understand something. What you just said about Satan being cast down, right? We hear some of these things in church with no understanding. You know why? Because most pastors, they not reading the Bible. They don't expect you to read the Bible, right? So you hear certain words and you hear one little part of it. And it's like, well, what is that talking about? Did the devil really get cast down? Was he like an angel and he was in charge of the music in heaven? Because that's what I heard, right? We heard all this stuff, right? But like, what does that mean then? So you mean to tell me that an angel went against God and God couldn't kill him?
Right.
God created the angels. He created us. He don't have no power. How is he all powerful but not all powerful at the same time?
Right.
It don't make sense. You know why? Because in church you get snippets of the Bible to make sure you paying 10%. That's it. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel happy. No matter what kind of lifestyle you live, whatever you want to do, you can do it. It's all good because you're under grace. You can sin all you want. Just keep coming to church and put money in my pocket.
Right.
That's what it is, right? But you never, like you said, you want to know the truth. I wanted to know the truth because I was an atheist. I ain't believe in God. I grew up in church. My mom was in church. My dad, he didn't go. But I didn't. Everybody who believed in God and the Bible, I thought y'all was crazy. I'm like, come on now. Africans was praying to a white person? That don't make no sense. Right? How is Africa the place where everything started but Jesus white? Something wrong with that. So I just thought it was fake, right? Read that for me.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth.
The Bible says, blessed is he that readeth, right? To get that relationship with God one-on-one, then you got to have a relationship with his word.
Right.
You got to know what it says, because if not, your relationship is based off what a man said.
Right.
Because that's where we get our understanding of the Bible. Stuff we done heard pastors say, stuff we done heard a deacon say, these different phrases that everybody got memorized in their head. Everybody in the world know what John 3:16 means. Right? But if I say, well, what John 3:14 say? Nobody know. And that's the point. 14 is the point to lead you to 16. But if you only know 16, then where you at? You confused, right? You think God loved everybody, God picked everybody, everybody's God's chosen people. That's not true. It's not biblical, right? What you said about hell, right? Hell has different meanings in the Bible, right? Hell is the grave. Hell is going into captivity, and that's what we are in right now. Go to Isaiah chapter 14 real quick, just to go into that. I'll go into it with you, right? Because y'all heard of the Nation of Islam before, right? You know how they say the white man the devil? Right? Y'all done heard them say that, right? The black man is God, the black woman is a goddess, the white man is the devil. Y'all done heard that before, right? Y'all know the Bible say that too, right? You didn't know that.
I listen to y'all.
Okay, you listen to us. Okay, so you know the Bible say that, right? I'm gonna show you that. Read that, Isaiah 14, start at verse 1.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel.
So the Bible's telling you who he gonna have mercy on. It don't say God gonna have mercy on everybody. It says Jacob, and he's gonna choose Israel. Right now there's a war going on in a land filled with people where the land don't even belong to them. Right? They stole that land. The Palestinians stole that land, and the white people over there that called themselves Jewish, they stole that land. That's why the war going on over there. Right? They stole that land. They fighting over our property. Right? That's why all nations are okay with us being in captivity, living in lower states, coming into our community. The Muslims sell us pork. Right? The Jewish people, they don't think we're about nothing. Right? All the other nations come against us for one reason, because they know we're the children of God. And once we get that knowledge back, us being the children of God, guess what? We get our power back. But as long as we rebel against God and we don't keep God's commandments, and guess what? He gonna do what he do. He gonna say, hey, listen, y'all don't want to listen to me? All right, now deal with these people then. That's the issue. But he said he gonna have mercy on us. Read.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land.
Right. What's our land right now? We don't have a land. We captives all over the world. Even in Africa. The white man run Africa. You know that dude I show speed? That dude I show speed? I see, what's his name? That streamer dude that be doing all kinds of crazy stuff? I don't know, he a streamer. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. Right, he a real big streamer. Well, he went to Africa and did this whole little trip in Africa, right? But since he's an American, he can move freer in Africa than Africans. Africans got to check in. Like, you can't just fly from one country in Africa to another country. The white man got to be involved. The Arab man got to be involved. You got to fly to certain places like Morocco, distant places like that to go through customs. You can't just go from here to there. You got to go from here to there, then here. Sometimes you got to leave the continent to do certain stuff, because of the way it's set up. Black people in Africa don't have free reign and rule. It's controlled by their enemies, right? So we start to see that we don't have a land at all. Not to where we bear rule. They don't even control the raw materials in Africa, right? France control it, the Dutch, Portugal, all these different places, America, they control that land. So God is letting us know that it's the people that needs to be saved and put in their own land. That's us. Read.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
And those strangers that's going into the other nations. People that don't fit this right here. This right here is the nation of Israel. This is God's chosen people. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, right? All these people went into captivity on slave ships. Their names, their culture was taken away from them, and now they live in captivity. All these people on this sign. Right? And what they do is they keep us against one another. I didn't know black people didn't like Mexicans. I was like, black people ain't got no problem with Mexicans. Like, I ain't never know that. And then I'm like, they like, oh yeah, that's good for these Mexicans getting deported. I'm like, how is that good for them to be deported? Why ain't nobody being, but then when something happened in France, all black people got a France border on their Facebook page. And them people had us in slavery. You know what I'm talking about on Facebook. You can have a little background, a bombing go on somewhere, everybody change their backgrounds or whatnot, their profile picture, yeah. That's what they'll do. But then the Mexicans getting persecuted by the same people that hate us, and now we on team white man. It don't make no sense, is what I'm saying. All these people, we went through the same captivity. We went through slavery. Mexicans went through slavery, right? The Jamaicans went through slavery. The Haitians, everybody went through the same slavery. But guess what? The people that didn't go through this, they keep us all separated. They keep us separated from each other. They make us hate one another. Why are they doing that?
They know we powerful.
Because they don't want to get us back together, right? Zephaniah 2:1. The Bible says something that we're supposed to do. That's why it's important to read the Bible. Instead of just saying, I'm going off the spirit, I'm going off of this, my own relationship. There's no such thing as a personal relationship with God. God is not going to tell you a law and then He's going to say, well, it's okay for you to do it. He ain't going to say, you can't cheat on your wife, brother, but him, brother, he can do it. It's okay. We got a personal relationship. No, this is a personal relationship right here. Read that.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
So God wants us all to gather together. He wants the nation of Israel to come back together. That's what He wants, right? But the world don't want us to come back together. They want us to hate one another. At one point, they used to say that Haitians, they all had AIDS. right? This was back in like the 80s or 90s, I think. They pointed that out. They made black people hate Asians, right? In places like Florida, that's why certain gangs started, the Zoo Nation and stuff like that. Why? Because it was a campaign to make black people hate Haitian people, right? So now they war against each other. Same thing in California, where you got the Mexicans and stuff like that. We hate one another, but the people that made this happen, they still live safe. They good, everything all right. I always think about it. Zimmerman is still alive, walking around today after he killed Trayvon Martin, right? But who? Pop Smoke dead, right? You got 50 Cent and T.I. fighting one another, right? You got black people hate one another every single day, but white people can commit crime in your neighborhood. They don't just commit crime, they'll take your whole neighborhood from you. You know, they'll start, you'll see, I remember we was in Gate City teaching, and you saw like 20 white people ride through on bicycles. And I'm like, now the cops told us that day that it was a bunch of, not drive-by, what you call it? They wasn't drive-by, they was robbing people basically, pulling up and robbing on people, right? But it was only doing it to black people. And I'm like, but you got white people riding $5,000 bicycles through this project, and they do it like it ain't a big deal. We hate one another. They did something to make us say, let's be against one another. While they can do whatever they want to do. You got that Psalms 83? Read that.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
We don't understand who our true enemies are. We think our enemies are people that look like us. That's why we fight one another every single day. We're against one another on social media. We talking trash about one another. You know, you got, what's his name? King? His name King T.I. son. Talking about 50 Cent dead mama, like dig her up. And then all black people like, yeah, go get them, and 50's gonna come back. That's our entertainment. Why is war going on right now? It's bombs being dropped in Iran dropping bombs places. They talking about they got caterpillars in the United States, meaning they got people in the United States. They're gonna start blowing stuff up and doing stuff while we entertain by nigga nonsense is what I call it.
Wake them up.
Right?
I gotta use that.
It's an issue, but see, it's to keep us out of the mindset that we gotta prepare. We gotta prepare and be ready, right? We're not spiritually prepared, we're not financially prepared, we're not mentally prepared, right? We're not. If something happened here right now, and all the black people out of Birmingham had to go somewhere, where would we go? Where would we have a place where we establish communication with somebody to go and take us all in? We don't. We hate one another. We can't go neighborhood to neighborhood. Right? Read that. Keep reading.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
A tumult means a gathering. All the enemies come together. At the end of the day, the Chinese man, right, the Arab man, the white man, the East Indian man, they all got one thing in common. They hate black people. That's what they got in common. They don't like us. They'll make money off us. They'll come in our community. They'll take our resources, right? But they'll have sex with our women. They'll have sex with the men. But they don't like us, right? They use us. Keep reading.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They took crafty counsel against us. Read.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And the reason why we're the hidden ones, because I say, what's your nationality? What's your nationality? Brother, what's your nationality? Your nationality. You were born here, right? What's your nationality? You. Black, right? We don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. Now you start talking around white people that say, oh, I'm German, oh, I'm Dutch, oh, I got this, that, this, and the other, right? Who that is?
Get 3 guesses, the first 2 don't count.
Okay, all right. There you go. I don't know what that means, but it sounds deep. Right? But it says the hidden ones. We don't know who we are. Right? And when you don't know who you are, you don't know who your God is, you don't know your culture. Right? And they don't want us to know. That's why they took that stuff out of school, what they call it? Critical race theory. They're like, we don't want them learning about the stuff that happened to them because it made white people sad. Like, what do you mean it made white people sad? I don't give a damn. That's history. It's like you don't want to know history. They don't want us to know our history. They don't want us to know nothing about nothing. They don't want us to know this kind of stuff. Right? Keep reading.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
What nation do we belong to?
Bring it up.
What nation we belong to? Anybody know? What nation we belong to? Come on, man. We got women over here. Listen, we need our men to be in power. That's the reason why the nations look at us as nothing, because our men don't give a damn about nothing. Our brothers have laid down and they let the other nations take control. And that's the problem. That's the problem we got. That's why a lot of our sisters feel like they have to stand up and be in that role, because the men don't want to jump into that position. Right? And I understand why the sisters want to do stuff like that. Right? But it got to come back to the way God meant it to be. Keep reading.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So they came together and said, let's cut black people off from being a nation. Not just black people, but the whole nation of Israel. Right? They said, let's cut them all off from being a nation. From us being able to feel like, that's my brother, that's my sister. Right? We hate one another. Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. God's chosen people ain't no more in remembrance, right? And the reason why all this happened is because of sin. That's the reason why. That's the reason why we're in the position we're in, because we don't want to follow God. Right? Everybody been to church, y'all done heard about the Sabbath day, right? You done heard about the Sabbath day, right? You know the 10 Commandments, right? You done heard about the Sabbath day, right? Why don't nobody keep it?
No, but Jehovah, ain't it?
Yeah. Nah, yeah, God's chosen people. You're right, God's chosen people.
Who are his people?
We are his people. There you go. So
Boom,
now,
boom, boom. You know what you
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Because that we are.
that's who we are. But we got to follow his commandments. That's the problem. We got to follow his commandments. Right? So when you think about the Sabbath day, why don't nobody keep the Sabbath day?
God bless you.
Yes, sir, all praises. Why nobody keep the Sabbath day holy? We believe in God. We go to church. Why don't we follow the words written in the book?
I guess it was a taught thing, you know, coming up being, like you said, a lot of our people that think, like maybe our great grandmothers and stuff,
Right.
they've been in this predicament, some have, some haven't. So if they weren't, they was still brought up on, like, you know, Sunday, let's go to, you know, church Sunday. So it's more like taught, like racism is taught, Christianity is taught in the black.
And everybody going their own way because they being restricted. Like, ain't nobody standing up listening to the book of word. Ain't nobody,
Right.
Everybody ain't doing, I'm not gonna say ain't nobody, everybody ain't doing it. So that means people got different beliefs.
Both answers right. Both of y'all right.
People gonna do what they wanna do.
People do what they want to do. But they say they love God, though.
In order to, you have to fall on your own.
You got to keep the commandments of God.
Exactly.
You got to do what the scriptures say.
Just for you to better listen. Everybody ain't gonna listen to what nobody got.
So now, once you find out, right, the question is, are you going to do it? Right? That's the question. Once you find out, are you going to do it? Right? If you love God. Give me that 2 John 6 real quick. Right? Because everybody say they love God. I love God, I love God. Right? They got a big campaign about fraternities and sororities, and they saying I can still be a Christian and be a Delta. I can be a Christian and be an Omega. It's like, no, you can't. You can't do it because you praying to other gods. You done made what they got to do they done made promises to other gods, right? Oaths to other gods. They up there getting beat with a stick and say, I'm a Christian. Like, no, you not. Right? I'm gonna get to you. Read that.
This is the book of 2 John, verse 6. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it.
Right, so love is keeping the commandments. That's what it is. You say you love God, that means you're going to keep the commandments of God. Like if I say I love my wife, right? If I love my wife, I mean, if I beat my wife, that don't mean, I don't love my wife. I can say it all day long. Baby, you know I love you. Pow! Right? No, I don't love her. Baby, you know I love you. I got to go with my second family around the corner. No, I don't love my wife if I do that. You see what I'm saying? So now, just if you say you love God, but if you don't do what's written, do you love God?
Right. Bring it up.
But do you love God? If you don't do, the definition of love is keeping the commandments. If you don't keep the commandments, do you love God? No. What's the opposite of love? No, what's a word that's the opposite of love?
Hate.
Hate. So if you don't love God, you what? You hate God. It's simple.
No, I think that's a stretch.
No, it's not a stretch.
I know, I get what you're saying, but I mean...
It's not a stretch. Either I love you or I hate you. There's no lukewarmness in this thing.
Right.
You can't kinda love somebody. You can't kinda hate somebody.
Right.
If I gave you a cup with a little bit of pee in it, is it water or is it pee?
Bring it up.
Right.
Is it kind of pig?
It's pee. You ain't about to drink it and say it's just a little bit of pee in there. You throwing it out like I'm drinking this pee.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. That's the way God put us in captivity. All these things that we see that happen to our people, he did it because we didn't keep his commandments. Right? So that means we were showing hatred to God by not keeping his commandments. He didn't say you were kind of loving me. No, you hated me, so guess what? Go into slavery. I'm going to feed your kids to alligators. I'm going to put this around your neck. I'm going to put you in a boat to where you got to pee and use the bathroom on top of each other. That happened to us as a people. Why? Because God said, oh, you don't love me? All right, then deal with the other nations.
So back to like when I first got here, why was it just like people of color versus white folks when they really the bad guys as well? Why the damage wasn't done to them?
You got any kids?
Yeah.
All right. If you tell your kids to come inside by the street light and they kid don't come, you gonna get them a whooping?
Bring it out.
No, because them ain't your people.
Right.
We are God's people. He gave us laws, right? Give me that song. You got it? Read.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Right, and that's why it's important to read the Bible, because you start to hear that the Bible is written to a certain group of people, right? So since it says, hear the word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, read.
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying.
Like when Moses went to Egypt to free God's people, he didn't free everybody. He went there to free the Israelites, right? What did he say?
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
God said, out of all the families of the earth, I only know you.
Right.
I only know you. You are my people. I created them for a reason. I created you because you mine. Right? It's like, what is a roach for? You know, it's for something, right? But it ain't the same as me. I'm not the same on the same level as a roach. If I roll over a roach, they're not about to call 911 and I'm going to go to jail because I killed a roach. No, that's how God look at all these other nations. They not the same. When you read the Bible, God said, go kill all them nations. Go kill them, kill their women, kill their kids, kill their animals. Get rid of them. God don't look at them like he look at us. You see what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Therefore will I punish you for all your iniquities.
So God said, because you my people, I'm going to punish you for all your iniquities. So you're right. Yeah, the other nations, they do all kinds of wicked, crazy stuff, right? But guess what? He like, they ain't even I don't mess with them. I told you what to do, right? So you be like, yo, this other kid outside while the street lights on, and you like, well, Mom, what about them? He out there. He's still out there. What you gonna tell your kid? You gonna be like, I ain't got nothing to do with them.
Right.
You my son. You my daughter. That's how God looks at us. Right? Give me that Joel 2. He said, I'm gonna punish you for your iniquities. Right? You can't break a rule you were never given. They were never given the laws, right? Moses gave the laws to the children of Israel. He didn't give the laws to them, right? We're not supposed to eat unclean foods. We can't eat roadkill. But he says, hey, go sell that to them. Read.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else.
He says, I'm the Lord your God, and none else. I ain't nobody else God, right? He gave the nations, the stars, the moon, all that stuff to worship. That's why when you get in the zodiac signs and stuff, that wasn't for us. He gave that to the other nations. He didn't give that to us. He says, I gave that to them. You the only people that got a God. These people on this sign right here, the Israelites, they the only people that got a God. Everybody else, they got idols. The gods of these nations are idols. That's why they worship all that stuff.
So he created all these people just to hate the rest of them.
He created them to be our slaves. That's what they were created. They were created to serve us. They were created to serve us. But guess what we did? We didn't serve him. So he's like, okay, you don't want to serve me? Deal with them then. Now you got to deal with them.
I got it, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it.
That's what they were created. They were created to serve us. Give me that in 2 Ezra 6:54.
Read up.
They were not created. Oh, you already got that? Man, look at you.
That's right.
This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all.
Right, so just like what you said, we all come from Adam. Everybody came from Adam. Right? Read.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
It says, we all came from Adam, and the people also whom God has chosen, which are the Israelites. Right? So he's making a separation. I created everybody, and I created y'all, you chosen people. Read.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake.
The world was made for the Israelites' sakes. That's why he made this earth. He made it for us.
Right.
That's written in the Bible. Right? But you don't hear this when you go to church on Sunday. They're not talking about stuff like this. They're talking about prosperity, push down, bro, whatever that, shaking and whatever.
Politics and all kinds of
They
stuff.
say some kind of phrase they got,
Talk about that. I never heard
right?
of stuff.
They talk about prosperity. If you sow a seed, then you're gonna get a seed, right? Lock the door, lock the door. You know, lock the door. That's what they talking about in church. They'll tell you God's laws are done away with, but then they'll tell you to pay tithes, which is a law. It don't make sense. They are lying to you. Some ignorantly, some they know what they do. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 56. As for the other people,
Now it's talking about everybody else, right? All the other people, everybody else that was made. Read.
which also come of Adam,
They came from Adam too. Go ahead.
thou hast said that they are nothing.
They're what?
They are nothing.
God said they ain't nothing. That's in the Bible. They said they ain't nothing. Right? But guess what? We want to look like them. We want to live around them. We want to follow their customs. Everything. You tell somebody like, you know, the Bible says you're not supposed to celebrate Christmas.
I know what it is. God don't like me. I don't got like it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't want to go around telling the white folks this, but I got more knowledge of saying like shit.
But we tell each other that though. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We get on each other about stuff, right? But then when we get around other people, we
Humble down, dumb it down. Yeah, not me.
we're afraid. We're afraid. Know why? Because the slave mind has been activated in our people, and we don't want to get by. The only thing that's going to get us by is us coming back to keeping the commandments of God. Right? And some of the stuff we're going to look at it and be like, well, that's something small. God don't care about that. It's like, well, then why is it written in the Bible then if God don't care about it? If God don't care about it, why is it written in the scriptures? Right? Is it okay to eat unclean foods? Is it okay to eat pork?
Bring it up.
No.
What you say? But do we still eat it?
Everybody gonna do what they gonna do.
Right. Because they hate God. That's the thing. Everybody do what they want to do because they hate God. But then they pray to God when something bad happens. First time something happened, they go to God. God, please. They in the clinic waiting on that test result to come back. I ain't never gonna do this again. I ain't gonna do this. I ain't about to cheat on my girl. I swear I'm gonna wear a condom. I'm gonna be celibate. I'm gonna be celibate. And then as soon as it say negative, they right back there doing what they do. That's what we do, right? Hosea 5:15. Even God say we're gonna do that, right? Read that, Hosea 5 verse 15. We do these things over and over and over again. We deal with God like he like a genie in a bottle or something like that. When we need something, we rub in the bottle. But when we doing good, we don't deal with God no more, right? Read that.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 5, verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
So God said, I'm going to stop dealing with these people until they acknowledge their offense, until they acknowledge that they wrong, right? Until they acknowledge they wrong. You got people that say they love God, and you got men talking about God, they don't want to hear it.
Bring it up.
Why? Because they don't really love God, right? I'm just saying, if who we say out here? What's that name? Honeycomb Breezy. If Honeycomb Breezy was standing right here with some speakers on, it'd be people all in this parking lot. If NBA Youngboy was right here singing music about calling women bees and hoes, the parking lot would be full.
Right.
They have to call the police to deal with traffic, right? But everybody love God though. I don't believe it. I think everybody hate God.
Right.
To be honest with you, everybody hate God. You know, everybody don't love God. Keep reading.
I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face.
Read.
In their affliction, they will seek me early.
That's what I said. When something going wrong, you crying out to God. Please, please help me, help me, help me, help me. Then everything be right, and you back to living your life the way you want to live your life. Right? The question is, do we love God? That's the question.
Right.
You love God, sis?
Don't listen to it because I'm not going to let you criticize me. I'm not doing it.
I ain't trying to criticize you. If I'm trying to save you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if my son doing something wrong, I'm gonna tell him he wrong because I love him. Right? I'm not telling him wrong because you ain't paying me no money or nothing like that. It's not like I want you to come help pay my bills, right? So I know. What I'm saying is that in the Bible, we were sent to do something. Isaiah 58. We were sent to go out to the people. When you read the scriptures, you see the prophets went out, the priests went out, the apostles went out. They went out and they taught the people to correct them. Why? Because we went into captivity as a nation.
Right.
Didn't like one person go to slavery. No, he said, okay, y'all want to sin? Everybody go.
Right.
So what you do affect me.
Right.
It's me. What I do affect you
Right.
as a nation. That's how we got to look at it. We don't look at each other as a nation.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.